Have you ever wondered what movies were filling seats at the movie theater around the time of your birth? Well, if you were born in 1970 or later, we've got the answer to which film brought in the biggest crowds as you were making your big entrance. Here are the biggest hits at the American box office released each and every year from 1970 to 2016. 1970, Love Story. The aptly titled Love Story is based on a popular novel by Eric Siegel and stars Ryan O'Neal and Ali MacGraw as the movie's central couple. This tale of love and loss was the biggest hit of 1970 with a box office haul of $106.3 million. 1971, The French Connection. William Friedkin's cop thriller The French Connection has often been imitated but never replicated. Gene Hackman won an Oscar for his role, the movie was named Best Picture, and audiences couldn't get enough. It made more than any other 1971 movie, earning $51.7 million. 1972, The Godfather. Francis Ford Coppola's The Godfather is regarded as one of the most superb films of all time. Film legend Marlon Brando is captivating, and it made stars out of cast members like Al Pacino and Diane Keaton. Fans lined up around the block to see the 3-hour film again and again, which made it the most popular film of 1972.
That's a terrific story.
1973, The Exorcist. Based on William Peter Blatty's creepy book, The Exorcist is about a girl who gets possessed by a demon named Pazuzu. Audiences wanted to be terrified in 1973, and this film did it so well that it topped the annual box office chart. 1974, Blazing Saddles. Mel Brooks's parody of old westerns and cowboy movies is a brutally funny satire focusing on themes of prejudice and racism, and it breaks the fourth wall when the big confrontation spills out into a present-day studio lot. Blazing Saddles offered something for everyone, which is why it was the biggest theatrical draw of 1974. 1975, Jaws. It's rare for a horror movie to grab a Best Picture nomination at the Oscars, but Jaws did just that thanks to memorable performances from Richard Dreyfuss, Robert Shaw, and Roy Scheider, all under the watchful eye of young director Steven Spielberg. Jaws became not only the most popular movie of 1975, but the highest-grossing movie ever, a title it held for just a couple of years. 1976, Rocky. At a time when Sylvester Stallone was nearly broke and unable to make it as an actor, he chose to write the classic underdog film Rocky for himself. The gamble paid off. Rocky won Best Picture at the Academy Awards, made Stallone into a bona fide movie star, and was the top-grossing movie of 1976, earning $117.2 million. 1977, Star Wars. The space opera set a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away has thrilled and enchanted audiences for 40 years now. Underscored by the music of John Williams and featuring performances by Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, and James Earl Jones, Star Wars was a nearly perfect film. The franchise starter raked in $460.9 million at the box office, and after its initial run, it topped Jaws to become the highest-earning movie ever. 1978, Grease. The charismatic John Travolta and charming Australian singer Olivia Newton-John were at the front and center of Grease, based on the smash hit Broadway musical. Right in the middle of a 50s revival, the musical demolished its competition with a take of $188.7 million.
Boy, good news really travels fast.
1979, Kramer vs. Kramer. Dustin Hoffman and Meryl Streep both won Oscars for their roles in the powerful domestic drama Kramer vs. Kramer. The film was so provocative that it enjoyed must-see status, making it the top theatrical draw of 1979. 1980, The Empire Strikes Back. The sequel to the most game-changing, beloved, and cash-generating movie ever was virtually assured success at the box office. After throwing in an epic battle between Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker, in which, spoiler alert, Luke finds out Darth Vader is his dad, The Empire Strikes Back easily won the 1980 box office with a haul of $290.4 million. 1981, Raiders of the Lost Ark. Raiders of the Lost Ark was intended to be a tribute to the Saturday afternoon matinee serials that George Lucas and Steven Spielberg grew up watching, but it leaves those films in the dust. Riding on the confident shoulders of Harrison Ford, this wildly imaginative thrill ride was the highest-grossing film released in 1981, earning an impressive $248.1 million. 1982, E.T. the Extra-Terrestrial. It's impossible not to burst into tears of joy during E.T.'s climax when the Reese's Pieces-loving alien uses his powers to launch the bikes of Elliot and his pals into the air. E.T. appealed to just about everyone, and it brought in a staggering $435.1 million.
Oh, God!
1983, Return of the Jedi. The Star Wars trilogy, a series so popular that it's commonly referred to as just the trilogy, wrapped up spectacularly with Return of the Jedi. And just like its predecessors, Jedi was the biggest blockbuster of the year of its release. Its total box office take, $309.3 million. 1984, Ghostbusters. Some of the biggest comedy icons of the decade came together in a very big way in 1984 to fight ghosts and other supernatural beings menacing New York City. This mix of broad comedy, ghosts, and Bill Murray being Bill Murray made Ghostbusters a hit, raking in $242.2 million.
I hate this. I like to torture them.
1985, Back to the Future. A seemingly impossible blend of comedy, sci-fi, nostalgia, and awkwardness, the Michael J. Fox Christopher Lloyd classic Back to the Future was a smash, topping all other 1985 movies with a $210.6 million haul. 1986, Top Gun. In 1986, Americans were keenly interested in taking a highway to the danger zone. So interested that they shelled out $179.8 million at the box office. In what's probably his most famous role, Tom Cruise played the justifiably cocky lead character of Top Gun, your dad's favorite movie to this day. 1987, Three Men and a Baby. Tom Selleck, Ted Danson, and Steve Guttenberg play a trio of bachelors whose party-down lifestyle is rocked by the arrival of a baby on their doorstep in the low-key comedy Three Men and a Baby. The surprising 1987 champion cruised to a box office haul of $167.7 million. 1988, Rain Man. It's not often that the highest-grossing movie of the year also wins the Academy Award for Best Picture. Rain Man, starring Tom Cruise and Dustin Hoffman, is one of the few to pull it off, bridging commercial appeal with artistic aims and scoring a whopping $172.8 million. 1989, Batman. Moviegoers had never seen a comic book film quite as big or as bold as Batman, which won 1989 by earning $251.1 million. Directed by Tim Burton, Batman starred the unlikely choice of Michael Keaton in the title role, although Jack Nicholson's clown Prince of Crime stole the entire movie.
You can call me Joker.
1990, Home Alone. You wouldn't think the year's biggest hit would be a Christmas movie starring child actor Macaulay Culkin as an abandoned child violently fending off burglars. But the funny, fast-moving John Hughes script made it a classic that's worth revisiting every holiday season. Still the highest-grossing Christmas movie of all time, Home Alone gathered $285.7 million, enough to make it the #1 movie of 1990.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
1991, Beauty and the Beast. As the lyrics of the title song note, Beauty and the Beast is a tale as old as time, but it hadn't ever been presented as beautifully as Disney's 1991 animated film. The delightful and emotional musical became the first animated movie ever nominated for Best Picture, and while it didn't win, it did wind up the highest-grossing movie to be released in 1991. 1992, Aladdin. The late 80s, early 90s Disney animation renaissance just might have peaked with Aladdin, the beautifully animated adaptation filled with memorable songs, fantastic characters, and a show-stopping performance from Robin Williams as the genie. Aladdin was the biggest hit of 1992, bringing in $217.3 million. 1993, Jurassic Park. Steven Spielberg thought it would be a good idea to make a movie about a dinosaur theme park based on a bestseller by Michael Crichton using realistically rendered dinosaurs. He was right, of course, and let's be honest, it would have been a shock if Jurassic Park didn't become the highest-grossing movie of the year. The 1993 dino flick took in $402.4 million.
Clever girl.
1994, The Lion King. A magnificently animated retelling of Hamlet, The Lion King is a beautiful and emotional film underscored by original music by Elton John. The hit musical was the third Disney animated feature in a row to top the annual box office, earning $422 million. 1995, Toy Story. As the first all-CGI cartoon feature, Pixar's Toy Story attracted viewers who wanted to check out the next generation of animation. But what really brought in the $191.7 million? Its premise, that toys come alive when humans aren't around, and its resonant themes of friendship and acceptance. 1996, Independence Day. Who wouldn't want to see a bunch of Americans from different walks of life team up to defeat evil hordes of alien invaders? Also, the aliens blew up the White House and other landmarks, which was pretty awesome and realistic looking in 1996. Independence Day, led by Will Smith, took in a whopping $306.1 million. 1997, Titanic. At the time, James Cameron's historical romance drama set aboard the doomed ocean liner was the most expensive movie ever made. It won 11 Academy Awards, turned Leonardo DiCaprio into a household name, and became the first movie to earn $600 million at the domestic box office. That made Titanic not only the highest-grossing movie released in 1997, but the highest-grossing movie ever to that point. 1998, Saving Private Ryan. Steven Spielberg's gut-wrenching World War II epic Saving Private Ryan, starring Tom Hanks, was more emotionally and physically real than any other war film people had seen, and it brought in $216.5 million. 1999, Star Wars Episode I: The Phantom Menace. The first of 3 Star Wars prequels, The Phantom Menace was probably the most anticipated movie of all time. When it finally played to packed houses in May 1999, many were vocally disappointed. A lot of people may not have liked it, but just about everybody saw it, and it pulled in a whopping $474.5 million. And the rest. Movies have gotten bigger and flashier ever since the new millennium hit, so one can only imagine what the future of cinema holds. From How the Grinch Stole Christmas to Avatar to Rogue One, here are all the rest of the biggest box office hits from 2000 to 2016. Thanks for watching. Click the looper icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.